Hey, Russell of Hotels going live just for a couple minutes again. Take two. But yeah, so we just wanted to make sure that and I'm still not 100% sure if there's going to be any echo in the background, and we hope not. But please forgive me ahead of time for this, okay? But anyway, hey, I got Miss Tiffany here. Tiffany is going to start joining me like on Mondays, and we're going to talk about stuff that maybe she got issues with, or maybe she want to know answers to. I don't know, not necessarily issues, but she wants to ask questions, and that's a good thing, right? Questions are good, and I appreciate it, and I welcome them. But Tiffany's an event planner as well. She'll tell you a little bit about herself, and then we're just gonna get into it. So, but this is the daily check-in. I do this daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then I do on air with Russell of Hotels that comes on every Tuesday. So there you go. So without further ado, Miss Tiffany.
Hello, thank you. Oh, that was such a great welcome. I feel so I feel so welcome to your show. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too, and hopefully we're echoless today.
Hopefully.
And let me turn on. Let me just
Hopefully.
make sure that my comments are open here, so people that are live on we're live on LinkedIn and YouTube, but only the people. And I hate to say this, and I'm sorry to say this, but only the people on YouTube can make comments in real time, and I can see them on the screen, and I put them on the screen. So there you go. The comments are open, and here we go. We're off and running. So what's going on, Tiffany? Tell me something good. In fact, first of all, let's let people know who you are and what you do.
Tiffany English, founder of Velvet Style Event Marketing. So I am a event professional, and more importantly, event marketer and strategist. So I utilize events as a marketing tool, and yeah, just sourcing venues, hotels for retreats, events, and conferences.
I like that. I like that. That's a cool title. I'm just a Russell of hotels, and I do hotel site selection. I don't
But
do
it's
any.
so catchy and it's so easy to remember because anytime I think of hotels, I think of you. So I guess that's good branding, right?
Yeah, you know what? I guess so. I mean, it sounds about
You know?
right. Yeah, but I
Right.
like the tagline. Like, I'm a marketing strategist. That's so cool. I love that. A market strategist. You know.
Well, I have to differentiate that because, when I start talking about, doing events, oh, will you do my, cousin's baby shower or my, my uncle's retirement party? And no, I will not because I handle events that have a business component to them, meetings, events, conferences, that there's budget set aside to market your brand. And the ones that get it know that those in-person experiences you know, are the best really for your brand. Those are the ones that are building you loyalty, um, building loyalty for new customers as well as your existing customers. You're able to communicate your brand in person. So that's why I have to differentiate that it is a strategy behind events. You're not just going to throw money to them and, hope that people stick with you. So, yeah, over the years, really developing more of a strategy about events so people understand where the ROI comes for events because they're costly, right?
Yeah.
But done effectively, they bring you a lot of business. So,
You're right. I like
yeah.
that, and I like the way you broke that down for me as well. So I really understand now. Okay, strategist. Okay, Miss Strategist. Okay, so
Aw,
what's going on? So let's go. Let's move. Let's do it.
let's do it. Right? Okay, so yeah, I came to you about, like I said, your, hotels. So whenever I think about hotels and wherever I dive deep into hotels and thinking about, what are great hotels for specific programs, you're always kind of in my head about looking for ideal, what's an ideal hotel for a particular program. And because I've been doing a lot more sourcing specific hotels, and doing site visits, multiple site visits over days, I've started to compile what makes a great hotel and why for a particular program. And so what it came down to is, me doing some research and looking at why are hotels rated a certain way. And I have my own personal ratings when I deal with different hotels for different programs. But I always wonder other professionals have their own ratings, and then ratings in general, where they came from. So I came to you and kind of, you know, kind of pick your brain about how you rate hotels.
That's, you know what? That's a good question. I'll just put. Hold on one second. Before I get it, there's a comment, or there's just a Craig Giangrosso. Hey, Craig Giangrosso, he's out there in Houston. He says, "Hey, happy Monday. Thank you so much, Craig. Appreciate it." And just like I put his comments on the screen, I put anyone else's comments on the screen as well. So thank you so much, Craig. But to answer your question, well, I always go back when people ask me this question. I always go back to how hotels are rated. Okay, hotels not by me, but like by like triple A. Triple A is the, I don't want to say the governing body in the United States for rating hotels. They rate hotels in diamonds, like from one diamond
Mm-hmm.
to five diamonds. Okay, and the more diamonds you have, of course, the five diamonds are going to be your luxury brand hotels. But that's individual hotels. That's not, we're not taking group into that as well, but we're just kind of, that's an overall view of how they do it. But when people start saying stars, oh, it's 5 star, that's a 5 star hotel. Like, what does that really mean? Because where that
Right.
came from, ExpediaHotels.com, a lot of the third parties started using a star rating, okay, which is basically up to the person that's walking in there. Now,
Right.
AAA, they walk in with, I don't know, a 10-page report, and they're rating it based on your service levels, or what services did you offer, the size of the TV, what type, how many thread count are the sheets. I mean, all those kind of things. Do you have a pool? Is it open, whatever, 24 hours? Do you have a spa? Is it open 24 hours? I mean, all those different things, they're rating those. But the star ratings are kind of throws things off, and people, just your regular Joe consumer, they say, oh, it's a 5 star. But if you look at some of their ratings, a Courtyard by Marriott, which I love the Courtyard brand, they cannot be a 5 star hotel or a 5 diamond hotel because they don't have the services that will make them that. Okay. Now, some people will throw in, okay, well, I think it's clean, it's this and that, and that's fine. Okay. But it is not a 5, meaning it's not at the top of the list of hotels that you would want to stay in. Now, 5 diamond hotel would be, like your Ritz Carlton or things like that, because those have, or your Fairmonts or whatever, because they have services that go along with that, right? Now,
Yeah.
but for me, now that I put through that stuff out there, now for me, I have my own way of looking at things. I don't necessarily, put a star or a diamond next to it. It's just basically, I look at certain things. So cleanliness, service, room quality, maybe even the room size, the facility, overall facility, food and beverage, what type of food. And a lot of these things, it can be for my client, but it's some of the things that I look for personally as well, right? So
Right.
it just depends. But I always go in with my client in mind, but I'm looking at other things, like say the food and beverage aspect. Of course, a lot of people, and I think I don't eat meat, right? So I'm always looking for different things on the menu. How creative can they be? And then these are questions that I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking as well. So they may not get a rating, but I'm writing these things down as I'm going through and doing a site tour, or either on my own or with a sales manager. I'm writing these things down, and I'm taking videos. That's why I take videos all the time, because I want to remember what I saw, right? So sometimes I don't necessarily remember. I'm not writing everything as a note, but I'm taking videos just to make sure that I captured, the size of this room or the style of the room, or and then just basically try to remember, like, what is my client really looking for? And then sometimes, a lot of times, I share these with the client and say, hey, this is the path from the rooms to the meeting space. You know what I mean? Because they need to know the proximity and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are things. That's where I start at least, and I go from there.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, let me ask you this then. Do Okay, so you have more of a checklist and a criteria that you stand by. So, do you have a personal rating system, or do you? Oh, and follow up question. If you do you communicate that to a client so they can get in their mind that, oh, Russell just looked at a 4 star or a 3 star. Oh, this is above average. Do you have personal ratings that you put to hotels that you see, or do you just go over the checklist and the criteria, and if it meets your criteria?
I go over the checklist the checklist, and I'll put things that my client wants or needs. They need to have, like service. What type of service level do they need? 24-hour room service. Do they need,
Mm-hmm.
vegan food or vegetarian options and things like that? I mean, those are things that I would put into that my checklist because these are things that the client is looking for. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
me, but it's all about the client. When I'm doing something for a client, it's all about them and what do they need or what's going to be a make it or break it kind of thing for the client. So yeah, so if they need, well, they're gonna have some downtime. So I need to know the spa hours. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. Um, and they're going to be, out of 100 people, that 10 of them are vegan or have gluten free and all this kind of stuff. Okay, well, I need to find out, not necessarily just in the restaurant, but what is the banquet offering as well? The banquet staff, the banquet kitchen, or the chef, what are they offering as well? Do they have those options? And if they do, can you give me an example of what that is? So those are things that I
Yeah.
need to know in order to present to my client. Hey, they do have this. They can be creative on the food and beverage. The spa, they'll keep it open, for your group if you commit to, 10 spa treatments or whatever the heck it happens to be, right? So those are things. But when it comes to rating, no, I'm not writing that, okay, this gets an A, B, C, or a D, but I'm just checking it off. I'm taking photos along the way, and I'm seeing if it
Mm-hmm.
meets the criteria for my client, and then we go from there. Because remember, I'm comparing these hotels to other hotels as well, and
Right.
sometimes
Right.
sometimes pricing will knock out hotels, right? Either they'll keep them in there or they'll knock them out. Because if they're price conscious, if the group is price conscious, they're gonna knock out the most expensive. And at that point, now you're dealing with other stuff, right? Now you're dealing with, okay, well, the price is out, so we're not talking about 5 and 4 diamond hotels anymore. We're dealing with three
Yeah.
for the most part, and that's the average. Most hotels in the United States are 3 diamond anyway. No matter the size of them, they're mostly 3 diamonds for the most part. So you're dealing with that. So I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily look at those things, the diamonds,
Mm.
and I don't rate them myself. I just say, okay, is it clean? Because remember, I have a background of housekeeping, right? I start off in
Yeah.
housekeeping, right? So I walk in, with my finger going over the table, over the workspace, over the pictures and things like that, the picture frames and all that, because I want to see. I'm looking. I'm on my knees looking under the bed to see if there's anything under there, because that tells you,
Mm.
are they conscious about cleanliness? Because there's
Yeah.
at least two people that have to go in and check a room after it's done. I mean, it's the person that cleaned it, and then there's an inspector that comes in back of them to see. Now, if both of them miss that, then that means there's something going on there. If it happens to be a bottle of pills under the under
Right.
the
Yeah.
under the bed, and they missed that, right? That's not good. Especially if you
Yeah.
checked in and you had babies and kids and stuff like that. So stuff like that is not good. So those are things I look at, and
Hmm.
I don't necessarily tell the client, but I am telling the hotel that this is, hey, just so you know, I found this under the bed, and and keep it going.
Okay, that's good to know. I never knew that there was a backup, and yes, and yeah, definitely under the bed. I'm gonna be conscious of that now.
Oh
But
yeah.
usually I check under the bed to make sure there's no, murderers hiding. But yeah, cleanliness.
Yeah, hey, for
They,
whatever
they always say
reason
check.
is, you need to look at it.
They
You need
always
to
say
check it
check under
out.
the bed and the shower curtain. So that's what I
Yeah,
do. But yeah,
shower curtains, the tub. I look at the mirror in
yeah,
the kitchen, and not the kitchen, in the bathroom to see if there's spots on it. And you look at a
the
mirror. How you
towels.
the towels? How you check a mirror is from the bottom
Mhm.
up, not from the top down. You look from the bottom up, and that'll tell you if there's spots and all that kind of stuff. I mean, see, these are things that I
See,
know. See, so
I had no idea. Okay,
of course, I mean,
interesting.
you don't
So
want to
you
tell
keep
people.
saying Well, you said it before, between diamond and stars, and I think in the industry, everyone knows about, the diamonds and AAA diamond status. But then, like you said, you go to Expedia or you go on a Google search and it says stars. So do you go? I mean, when you're checking out a hotel, do you look at the diamond rating first before you check it out, or you just, or
I'll
does it
know what
matter?
it is for the most part. Yeah, I'll know. Yeah, if I'm going to take a
Okay.
hotel, yeah, I pretty much know what it is, or I'll look it up and see. Okay, what it is. It's like on some of the platforms that we have, it tells you. I mean, you can just
Mm-hmm.
type in the hotel that you're looking at, and it'll give you all that information on there, right? So, yeah, I'll look it up because I want to know how many rooms they have, how many guest rooms, as well as how much meeting space they have, and how does that break down. It's 110,000 square foot of meeting space, but it's broken down into 50 different rooms, right? Different, so I'll
Yeah.
look at all that stuff before I put that on my notes. And then when I walk in, I know exactly what I'm should be seeing, right? Now, I don't know,
Right.
but
Matches
one,
up.
one thing you want to do is if you're comparing the photos, you want to make sure that you go to the hotel and see, because a lot of times those photos they can be 3 or 4 years old, and maybe it hasn't been renovated, and maybe it's a little tired or whatever. So those things play a big part in it too. So of course I'm writing notes under the meeting space and saying, does not look like the photos. Because a lot of times your clients look at the photos, right? They haven't been there, so they're looking at the
Yes.
photos, and they're like, "Well, it doesn't look like that." There's rips, and you can see the
Mm-hmm.
tracks in the carpet or whatever, to where the seams are coming apart. I mean, those are things that you want to look at and report on, regardless. And this is the thing, regardless if you're being hosted at this hotel or not, because we get hosted at a lot of hotels, right?
Right.
But you got to be honest. You have to be honest of what's going on for your client. Because like I said, it's not about me. It's about what my client, what's their perception going to be, right? So, and what's their
Sure.
perception what's their perception of me if I don't report some of these things, right? Like, well, what do you think about that hotel? I wasn't able to see it. What do you think about the hotel? And if I just said, oh, the meeting space is fine, I just totally just went over the seams and the threads and all this kind of stuff that I saw that are exposed. I didn't even mention that at all to the client. I just said, "Oh, this is fine." But then when the client goes there and they go sight unseen, well, then that throws your credibility out the window. Because what
Absolutely.
is all this right here? You said it was fine. So you have to be honest. And sometimes you have to. A lot of times you have to let the client know, meaning not the client, but the hotel staff know as well. Like, hey, is this going to be fixed? Are these things that they look repairable? Can they be repaired before this day, or give me a date that this is going to be done? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this for my client, and they're not going to like this. So this could be a make or break it kind of thing, right? So you got to be honest with the staff as well, the salesperson. I mean, the salesperson can't do anything, but the salesperson's job is to take it to their boss, and then they take it to engineering or whoever is in charge of doing that to make sure that stuff is taken care of. So
Now, have you done that
oh
before in
heck
your
yeah.
experience, and have you had it rectified? And when you did bring some issues.
Sometimes, yeah. Not 100%, which is unfortunate. Not 100%. And then
Yeah.
guess what? They didn't choose that hotel though. I mean, it comes
Right.
down to them. Do they want the business or not? So
Right.
I'm letting them know, hey, these are um the must haves, so to speak. My client must have this fixed before they're able to, have a group here. If they can't do it
Yeah.
by, I'll be back in, a couple weeks and check it out. If it's been done, then I can, I'll okay it for my, or at least refer it to my client and go from there. But if it's not done, then I'll just move on to the next hotel. And that does happen.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's happened several times where, we basically say, no, we'll go somewhere else. And I tell my client ahead of time, like, why I wouldn't choose this hotel is because of this and because of that. Because we as event planners or meeting planners or hotel site selection, we're their eyes, right? Because they
Right.
can't make it to every site tour, site inspection. They can't make it. I mean, they just can't. So it's my
Or
job.
even if they can, we see things they don't, because I've had walkthroughs with clients and they're like, oh, pretty, and I'm like, no, 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 do you see that in the corner? You know what I mean? So even if they can join us, we have to be that, that professional eye as well to catch
Right.
things that they wouldn't see.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Very good. That was a good one as well.
Yes. I know, huh? Well, let me ask you this. I'm curious. Have you had the experience where you go, site, and the hotel doesn't work for the program that you're looking for, but you're like, okay, but it's not it can work for something else, right? Does that happen to you? So you
Oh
keep it in mind for other programs.
Oh
So it's not
yeah.
necessarily a loss. I mean, we're not saying that it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for this program.
Exactly. I mean, I know you because you and I have had these conversations where, we look at these hotels and for certain groups it would work okay. Like say if we're talking a Smurfy, a leisure kind of group, some meetings will work. I mean, some hotels will work better than if it was a corporate group because I have corporate groups that are they're 4 and 5 diamond groups, and they're not going to take anything less than that. And if sometimes the feel is different, right? I mean, when you walk
Yeah,
in, the arrival experience is a lot different from a 4 and 5 diamond than it is from a 3 diamond. It just is.
sure.
It's just a different feel. So yeah, but you're looking at it for all the groups that you bring with you. So when we walk in the door, we're not walking in just with that one group. We're walking in with all the ones that we currently have, as well as the ones we could have in the future, right? That we don't even
Sure.
know
Yep.
about yet, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so we're just logging things in our head like, okay, this wouldn't work for this group, but this one will work for another group. Just like, I mean, I love Margaritaville. Okay, I'm just throwing a brand out there. I love Margaritaville, but Margaritavilles don't always work for every corporate group. But for a leisure group,
Agreed.
they would work. They work for most of them, right? So,
Agreed.
yeah. So, I mean, we've been
It
to
would
some
work for
great
me
ones.
personally.
Exactly. I
Like
want to go and hang out there.
I would book. I've been, to a few, and I was very comfortable. Do you remember? Was that you? Lake Conroe. Did you go to Lake
Oh
Conroe?
yeah, and he was outside of Houston. Yeah. Hmm.
I was
Yeah.
like, was that you? I
Yes.
thought the room was so comfortable for me or a family, or but corporately I was concerned, which is okay. You don't have to fit every group, and you shouldn't, because you go crazy trying to appeal to every group. But I thought that space was, I mean, it was ample space to be really comfortable
Hmm.
for, like you said, a Smurf group. But yeah, that is a good example. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for anybody that's listening, SMURF stands for Social, Military, Educational, Religious, and Fraternal Groups. Okay, that's an acronym. Hotel people are big on acronyms, right? So that's what that means.
Yeah.
So that's just for the people that are listening, like, what the hell is SMURF? The whole group of
Honestly,
people?
I didn't always know what that meant, because all I did was corporate. So when it was Smurf, I was like, what does that even mean? And it's funny because I think a lot of people, and even planners like me, don't know that hotels work with all different types of groups, because I think some of them have a misconception that you can only work with a sales manager or a CVB if you're working with corporate or these large businesses. No, no, no. You can do social, you can, help your family reunion, you can, and you get some really good group rates. So I think people need to understand that working with, a planner or a professional in any capacity of a group
Hmm.
benefits them.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I do family reunions, corporate groups, association, yeah, whatever, law
Whatever.
firms, whatever comes across the desk, I'm gonna
We
do
should
it.
put a group together, huh? It should just be a group of planners. You plan something for
Okay,
us?
okay, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Sounds
We'll just be
good.
a group. Yeah. Why not?
Sounds good.
This
Okay.
No,
Huh.
but this was a good conversation, because I love getting your insight and your insider insight of hotels. So even with the ratings and the diamond, now I'm going to go and really pay attention to these diamond ratings, because I know there's certain criteria that I really don't pay attention to.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. They don't realize. They don't understand. like I said, they've gotten caught up, especially like since COVID. I mean, these star ratings have been coming up like, oh, it's a 5-star hotel. What the hell does that mean? I mean, what does that really
Yeah.
mean? Like I said,
You know
Expedia and
what?
all
And I
that.
think that's why I reached out to you, because there was a hotel. Obviously, I was looking. It could have been, I was looking Google or something, and it said 5-star. And this hotel, I just did not. I did not think it was 5-star. And then I almost felt bad that I didn't feel it was a 5-star. But you're right, the ratings are so subjective and, leaning towards the consumer. And that's why, one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out and really debunk some of those, stories about ratings, because you get on there and you're like, you're thinking you're attending a 5-star hotel, and you're just like, well, this is pretty average to me,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really why I wanted to have this conversation with you. And you're right, a lot of people, anybody can rate,
Yeah.
and it could be somebody's, the manager could be a friend of yours, so you're giving him a 5-star because, so looking into more of those professional ratings, like the diamonds, make sense, because you can actually have that to go on. Especially, in our business when we're doing groups, I think it's more important to really pay attention on who's rating, because, like you said, they're going through that different criteria where they're not saying, oh, this is pretty,
Yeah.
oh, this is
Exactly.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
going in and, really getting in deep. So yeah, it's definitely good food for thought as far as what hotels to look for and what status they have. And especially with clients, if they, like you said, if they only want to go above, four diamond or five diamond, you don't want to suggest a 3 diamond to them. They're going to be like, well, now you don't know your stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. Know your client.
So,
Always know your client and what they're expecting. But like you
hmm,
said, there's no way this one particular client I have. There's no way I'm showing them a 3 diamond hotel. It's just not, because they never choose them, and that's not what they're looking for. Because they're looking for the elevated services. All that stuff has to
hmm,
be elevated. And like I said, once you on arrival, you can tell. You can just, it's a feeling
yeah,
that you get when you just drive up. Like, wait a minute, this is, wow, this is okay. You know what I mean? Opposed to just
yeah,
a 3 diamond. And I'm not taking anything away from, I've only worked at 3 diamond hotels. Okay, so don't think I'm, oh well, Russell's now, he's up. No, 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 no. I just know the difference, right? I've been
yeah,
around enough. That's why I'm Russell of hotels, because I go to every single hotel and kind of, in my head I'm rating them as well, right? But
yeah,
yeah, so just know your client, know what they're looking for, and I don't deviate from that. I don't deviate from what they're looking for and what they've done in the past. I won't even show them anything less than what they've used in the past. So there you go. And it's always worked out. I mean, it's always worked out. And yeah, they're gonna pay a little more for the room, depending on if it's a 5 or 4 diamond. They're gonna pay more for it, but they expect that. Because
right,
with that higher rate is a higher rate of service too, and that's what they want, and
sure,
that's what they expect. So yeah. So there you go. But no, this is good. I always love coming on with you, because you always got some good questions. I always have to, my mind is always working when I'm talking to
yeah.
you.
Well, and then it sounds like it brings some stories out from your
Oh.
days, the glory days. You start reminiscing.
I don't know if they're glory days. I don't know that, but there's the days. The
So,
days. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's been a fun. I mean, it's been a good experience. Not all of it's always been fun, but it's always learning, right? It's always been a learning thing, and I can regurgitate a lot of things that I remember. Going through either trainings or some situation I had to deal with some of the hotels and dealing with guests and things like that. So yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I can remember names, which is really kind of scary. Guest names and stuff like that. But anyway.
oh,
Oh
okay,
yeah. Oh yeah. I remember all
wow,
kind of things. A lot of detailed stuff that I probably should not remember. But yeah, no, it was good. I mean, it was a good experience. Not always the best experience, not always a fun experience, but out of all the 14 hotels, I learned something. And in a lot of these hotels, I would say 2 of the 14 were the worst experiences of my career, but I still learned something from there. and I'm
Hmm.
still able to take things away from there.
And see, and now you get to pass that knowledge on in, things like this. And to me, which I take, and I take this into my business as well. So look at you. So it all works out.
That's what I'm here for, Miss Tiffany. That's what I'm here for. Okay,
Thank
do
you.
we have anything else to ask? I mean,
I mean, I feel like we really did a good conversation about ratings and, you
okay.
know,
No, that's good. I think
um,
we did. I think we did. I think we covered a lot of
yeah,
ground in the 30 minutes we've been
yeah.
talking. But I look forward to the next topic because I know you have many because we talked the other day and you came up with
Um,
about 5 different
did
things.
I?
Yeah, about
Should have wrote them down.
you didn't write them down?
No. You know what? Usually, Russell, it comes up when, I'll get an email or something to come up and I'll be like, oh, I want to talk about this. Or, oh, a story comes up. So, it just comes up. And then I reach out and let you know. And then you say, yeah, that's a good topic. And that's how we go. So we'll go from there. We'll keep
That's
it
fine.
fresh.
No, I look forward to the next one, and also I look
All
forward
right.
tomorrow because I have a guest on my show on air with Russell of Hotels, Miss Corinne Thomas will be on tomorrow, so that's gonna be good, and we're gonna talk about
It will be.
a lot of different things. I'm not sure what we're gonna talk about because I don't know. I'm gonna come up with it. I'll pull some stuff together, right? But it's all about see
Okay.
when I have conversations with people on air with Russell of Hotels, when I have a guest on, it's all about them, right? It's about their brand and how do they get there. You know what I mean? So for anybody that's interested in coming on, it's all about you. I don't tell you the questions I'm going to ask you, but there are questions you should know the answers to because it's all about you and your career. So there you go.
Okay.
So I
That's
may
fair.
ask questions in a different way, or because I'm trying to pull information out, but the questions about you and your career.
Well, and then you get to learn from them because you don't know the answers, right? So it's new to you.
Exactly.
So,
It's so
yeah,
organic. Is it organic? Is that what you guys use? The term
organic.
it's so organic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, this is organic. This is great.
Who is you guys?
I don't know.
Who are you referring to?
Different generations. I'm sorry.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because the conversation was so organic. Oh my God. It's so
Is that what the kids
good.
are saying?
Yeah, that's what the kids are saying. Oh my God. It's so
Oh,
organic.
goodness.
It just flowed. So anyway, I see RC. Hey Robin, Rockstar Robin, how are you? Let me put your comment on the screen. What's up, Rockstars? We're doing well. We're doing well. Thank you so much, Rockstar Robin, for your comment and always supporting me. I do appreciate that. So she's out there in the ATL. So or
Okay.
the A. Do they call it the A or the ATL? One of the two. I think they call it the A.
Is it A?
Yeah.
A, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the ATL. That's
Well,
an
it used
airport code.
okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. See, that's what I'm talking about.
ATL.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. See. So anyway, anything else before we sign off, Miss Tiffany?
And I think we're good until the next
So we need
spontaneous
so we need to do
conversation.
these on Monday. So you need to come up with something for Monday. So I've
Check
put
my
your name.
schedule.
So every Monday is a Tiffany daily check-in. Daily check-in with Tiffany.
What?
Yeah,
A
every
Tiffany
Monday.
day.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
let me make sure my Mondays are free.
I'm sure they
Because
are. Let me see.
we're
You ain't doing that.
wow. Okay, I do work. Yeah, so well, it'll be a new month, a new quarter. So I'm sure we'll have some good newness to talk about next Monday.
Some good newness.
Newness.
She
Yes.
said, "Tell him, sis." Okay. All right. Thank you,
But
Miss Rockstar.
clearly I'll come up with a topic if because you talk daily, so you probably run out of things to say, right?
No, I don't run out of things to say. But
Okay, well then you can come up with a topic.
no, no, no,
No,
no,
we'll
no, no.
talk.
This is your opportunity to ask me questions. Okay.
Tiffany Day.
Yeah,
Are we
so
changing the title to Tiffany
no,
Day on
it's
Monday?
still a daily
Oh,
check-in with Russell
uh,
Photos, but on Tuesdays it's
Tiff-
devoted to you coming
Tiffany
on,
Day.
and yeah, it's yeah.
I
So
love it.
yeah, I love it. Pulling up for the Tiff Mondays. Yeah, see, even Rockstar Robin like that. See,
I love
so
it.
so there you go. So that's
Thank
it.
you, Rockstar Robin.
So are we good? Are we good for now?
We are good.
All
Till
right.
next time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Miss Tiffany English, for coming on. Thank you, Rockstar Robin, for chiming in, as well as Craig Giangrosso out there in Houston, Texas. We appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate the support that you guys give us. We're about 35 minutes, so yeah, typically these will go. I guess they go about 35 minutes. I guess depends on how many questions Tiffany has to ask. So look forward to a daily check-in every Monday. Is going to include Tiffany. Okay, so there you go. Anything else?
So
Any
excited.
parting words, Miss Tiffany?
Have a great week.
That's it. Oh, okay. That was easy. All right. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you,
All
as
right.
always.
Bye.
Peace.